24 season. And a happy new year to you all.
New Year.
Going to the mundane, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes from our November meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or comments about it?
I wasn't there for it, so I looked at it, but it was fine, I'm sure.
Me. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, all right. The rebate applications are the next topic. Scaragellino,
Right. So that was the one that we didn't get to last time.
right? And there was some questions about it.
Yeah, but I did disseminate to everybody, but I know Greg was out, it's been a while, but do you remember the engineer's letter?
Yes.
Right, okay, so the owner had his engineer additionally just compose a letter explaining, I think you guys already discussed it that night, I wasn't here too.
A little bit.
Yeah, that it's not, there's no increase in, like, there's basically no growth in this project. There's no addition of bedrooms. They're doing like a renovation of inside, changing the location of the kitchen. They're taking out, I think they're bumping out something, they're making a gym. So that, and so basically their concern was that they didn't want us to interpret this as, any kind of growth. And then James, you were thinking about maybe composing a letter.
Well, I did compose a letter, but.
Did you send it? Because I thought Greg was going to say
We did
no.
not send it
Didn't
only
send it,
because there
okay.
seemed to be enough
Okay,
discussion that still needed to happen about it
yeah.
that we decided to not send it. But this application prompted that. So we can,
Right, because something like this could happen again.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, this is Betty. Are they adding a bathroom to that master bedroom?
Let me just,
bear in mind, bathrooms don't matter.
It doesn't?
No.
No, bedrooms, man.
Bedroom.
Doesn't
bedroom.
that doesn't increase the flow or anything? So that
No.
doesn't matter?
Plus the toilet's
Okay.
leaking.
Gotta go, you gotta go.
yeah, they're adding, Betty, they're adding a bath to the master bedroom.
Right.
But they're not
That's-
adding any bedrooms,
No.
which generates
Okay.
the capacity.
And I think they were asking for a Send 5 too, right?
Yeah, Send
Which is-
5, so
you know,
you're not
they're
anticipating,
looking,
yeah.
At this, from this.
The problem we have with this application is that the building department
Yes, that,
has
so when I went to
determined
them, yeah,
that it does not, it falls within the expansion as defined by the town.
I think it's
I didn't
25.
realize that. I didn't read that.
25% or something like that.
25%, yeah.
So we, at that October meeting, or maybe November,
Maybe it was November.
it was November.
Maybe.
We had talked about perhaps suggesting to the town board that they review this, whoever. We have a great audience. Anyway, that they review this and use a more, refined criteria that deals with actual expansion of the design flow of a building, where, if you're just shuffling bedrooms around and you're making them a little nicer in the renovation,
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily increase the design flow. It shuffles things around, but, and even if you add another bathroom, it doesn't increase the flow. I mean, if you have to wait for a bathroom or you have your own bathroom, you're still going to go to the same number of times, most likely. So that was what we were thinking about suggesting to the town board, that they review the code and maybe make it a little more refined as it deals with what kind of expansion are we talking about? Are we talking about a kitchen expansion, or are we talking about bedrooms?
So if my recollection is correct, we also said we were going to send this as approved along with the letter.
that's what I
So
emailed him.
allow the town board to see the actual.
But then there was some debate. I think Greg had some problems with the letter. And then it seemed like we were just pushing, if we sent the letter, it was contradiction to, you know, maybe people's thoughts. And I thought, well, maybe you had been away and, you know, I thought it would be better not to send anything until we talked again in person.
Because this is, I think, the first time that I recall talking about this, that was this on a previous,
I think
was
his
this in
objection
October?
was on the other issue,
Yeah.
which was
They were adding more than 125, they were adding more than a quarter of the current structure.
Yeah.
Right, that's what the.
Is this situation, they're making adjustments, they're not, they're making is those adjustments are a 25% increase in the house?
In the conditions space, it's a 25% increase. But in the way the house is used in the number of bedrooms, it is not an expansion. You know, it's just a renovation of existing spaces and shuffling some spaces around.
But they are adding square footage.
They're adding square footage, that's correct.
So just, I have the little summary here. So what they're doing is they are actually removing an existing bedroom. They're to adding a bathroom to a master bedroom, which never had a bathroom. And they're creating, so they're basically taking away one bedroom, making it somewhere else. And the reason they did that is that this existing bedroom was very close to the kitchen.
Right.
And it does look odd. I mean, if you look at it, so I think that's why they're taking it away. So they're taking away one bedroom, creating another, adding a bath to a master bedroom, which never had a bath. And I think they're doing some deck work, a little bit of deck work. But if
You know, it's a very angulated house,
Square
weird
footage,
shape.
and the
You know?
SFLA comes out to 25%. And so the building department Brett had just sent me an email saying, you know, this is something to think about because by math, it looks like they don't qualify, but based on what they are doing, they do. Does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense.
But I mean, the problem, I think, is that
They're
the
either-
code is defined in a certain way.
Correct.
It's because it's because of the way they're describing what the modifications are.
No, it's
in-
a math calculation.
It's actually the way it's the code that's,
It's the
Well,
code.
but it sounds like you're saying is that they're not adding any heated space in the place.
I didn't say that. I said they're not adding more bedrooms or sleeping areas. They are reshuffling and renovating spaces in the house that actually come out to an expansion of this conditioned square footage.
right.
But
And
it doesn't increase the
The flow.
usability or design flow of the house.
right. And the 3-bedroom, even in the email from Brett, it acknowledges that the 3-bedroom count stays the same.
I said that?
No, this is the email from the building department that I.
Okay.
How big is the house and
That's twice I
how
heard.
big is the
I don't remember.
expansion?
I think it's about a 500 square foot expansion. Yeah.
What is it?
So a 2,000 square foot house.
It's not a very big house.
Well, it's not a giant house. It's a,
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense if you're essentially changing a cottage to a more livable house.
Yeah.
I think I speak for everybody. I think we would like them to have an IA system. And we would like to support it.
Yes.
The problem lies in the way the town code is written.
Well, the code for this.
It allows a grant from the town to an entity. The way
And our
I perceive it.
And if my recollection is correct, our recommendation, town board, in the letter that we haven't sent yet, is that they change it to say if the design flow doesn't change, a minor, and I don't know.
You know, I mean, and this would be distinguished.
Because isn't a major renovation 50%? So this is really under the, right? I mean, that's when you have to change code and all that.
These are the kind of projects that we would want to do an IA for. We want
Right,
to-
no, we agree.
They're not expanding, they're just renovating. Did you want to add, Amber?
The way the code is written, maybe I should come up just so the Zoom audience, you know. So the way the code is written,
and I have to just go back and double check it, is that if they're doing a renovation and the health department requires that they upgrade their IA system, then we don't give them a grant because it's being required. And so
Unless we get into that, there's that gray area about a failing system,
right, unless it's an emergency.
but
Yeah.
that, that's another gray area.
And it's,
And then it gets
and the criteria,
expedited.
the building department uses a criteria that says if you're increasing more than 25 or 24.9 of space, that falls into the unallowed for, that it's a mandated adjustment.
Yeah, if it's mandated, no. But we need to rethink that because as the town board starts to look at changing it so that you have to, upon, if we decide to add the, like, take it a step further now and say upon title transfers, we're now going to require installation of an IA system within 2 years. Do we want to, even though we're now mandating it, do we want to allow funding for that just to help people out?
Well, I think if you want to get elected again, probably.
I just want to do what's right. I don't care about that.
We're playing politics now?
As every politician.
No, truly.
I think, I'm okay with, I would send the letter, because I wrote it. But I want everybody to be okay with it, I think this application should be approved.
So this is what I had sent you. You all got this, but James, you know the house, right? So you can see that this is the existing and this is what's going to be done. There's a bedroom right off the kitchen. This is actually one of the bedrooms. You see how in this is what's happening right now. This is proposed. You see how they're taking away the bedroom and they're putting in here like a gym, like a little, because the space is very small anyway. This bedroom is being dissolved and it's being put over here.
Right.
Okay. So that's the big change. The other bedroom is just staying a master bedroom. They're adding a bath to it. So it's still going to be 3.
How is that a 25% increase? It looks like the same.
Yeah, because they're taking, they're kind of building out on the one end a bit.
With a little bit of decking or something. Yeah.
Well, that too.
No, if it's a decking, it's not.
No.
It's actually, it is, the conditioned square footage is increasing.
Yeah.
Brett is correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that okay? Can we send James's letter? Did you get a chance to look it over? Because I think it was more, I think it was more about the format. He never got to review it, I think.
I haven't seen the letter. I don't know.
All right, well,
I don't know when it came around.
So the thing is,
Got it, right?
the owner has reached out twice.
thought it was
and then,
fine.
we got pushed back 2 meetings. So I feel for him. He just wants to know, like, do you think that we make a decision tonight and then?
well, I think we should vote on the merits of the application and then send the letter, which I'll
With it, yeah.
send it to you, Greg, as well. Maybe I can find it right now, but I would say have a motion to approve this application as it is presented to us. Conditioned on the town board's weighing in on the code issue.
Yeah, it's,
But let's, hopefully it doesn't have to wait for a whole big rewrite of the code, but
No, I would hope not, but.
you really, it almost, and I don't think this is the one that, if you wanted to have something happen quickly, changing the code wouldn't be necessary. It would be more a procedural advisory from the town board saying, hey, we understand how this, that section, I think it's B, whatever that is, and saying it, and we'll, the town board wishes to have the opportunity to avail the opportunity to get a rebate, and so that the WQI is instructed to identify the situation, and this would be in your letter or whatever, and say, identify that situation, and then we'll take the heat or the accolades. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
If that's the cover letter on the balance of the representation that says, the building department and our reading of the code would say, and I can't figure out how that works on that drawing, but that's another
I
story.
think that part of that is decking that they're enclosed.
Yeah, well, the deck, They're enclosing decking?
That's what I
That's the
think, right?
guy's
'Cause it looks
letter.
like 3 steps going down. If you look at the,
I thought it was looked like that too.
Yeah.
But, let me just see if I
And the
can.
decking is a heated.
no, it's not. That's why you get the 25% expansion. I mean, it's a tiny house.
But the amount that they're putting in the decking is inconsequential to us. We
No,
have
no, no.
concern.
They're consuming some of, it looks to me like they're consuming some of the existing decking or some.
Right, I mean, they're adding some deck over by the,
No, they're taking
pulled it- oh, you
away
pulled
the
it up?
decking.
there you go.
I didn't even know it was up there.
So
Yeah, so pink is there, yeah, that's.
Where the pink is, looks on the other drawing to be, to me, it looks like it's exterior space.
the pink? No, that's.
No, on the, go to the other one, and the same space where the pink is now looks not there to be exterior space, not interior space, no? Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
This is space, it looks like a stairway, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's the patio, and they're enclosing part of the patio, and then maybe adding more patio somewhere else, but who cares?
Catherine, can we see the lower part of this? Ah, okay.
It says deck, so that's a
Here's-
deck, so they're taking part of the deck and making it.
Here's, this space here is new interior space.
That's the new bedroom, yeah, I'm looking at it here.
I'm gonna keep doing this, I don't know.
This is the ground floor and this is the second floor, I guess?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense, then there's 25%. If you take this and this. Okay. But they are asking for the Sen 5, which
Yeah.
which would indicate that in their design engineer says that it won't need an addition. You know, I'm.
If you guys, Catherine, can you put up the engineer's letter? Do you still have that or? Because it just, so this is.
he just reiterates,
He reduced that, but he's saying the existing dwelling is a 3-bedroom home with 2 bedrooms on the first floor. We're discussing which is on which, and 1 on the lower level. This is also the home office, attached to the primary bedroom, which is not deemed a bedroom per Suffolk County Department of Health Services General Guidance Memorandum Number 19. Procedures of Office of Wastewater Management for classifying bedrooms within dwellings, which states, and then he quotes the law. In our proposal, we are eliminating 1 bedroom from the first floor. That's the one by the kitchen, right? And adding 1 bedroom to the lower level. So 1 replaces the other, keeping the house a total of 3 bedrooms. The home office will remain. It is not considered a bedroom for the reasons cited above, and he cites the law again.
and then expanding the master over the deck area.
Yes, so that the master's going over that deck area.
So, I mean, that counts as, doesn't count again, it counts as adding
Yeah.
space.
There
I
were,
sent you that letter, Greg, by the way.
I didn't pick up.
It's
on
okay, I read it, it's all right.
it was fine.
I'll just send it.
You know, it,
So you just look at it and say, okay, or not, when you do.
well, you know, if we want to try and resolve this tonight, you know, in terms of forwarding it, I think you could send that the majority seem to like, you know, there's 3, and I don't know, Betty, if you're familiar with this letter, if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
know,
I am.
So why don't you send it along with, you know, the majority of the WQI would like the town board
Yeah,
to make,
Okay,
you know, to provide for,
we'll make it happen.
so.
yeah, to make that effort.
And now we need to
basically
vote.
Doing.
We need to make a motion.
Right, so I would like to make a motion that we approve Michael Scaraglino's 5 Heritage Drive application. And at the same time, we're going to send in James's letter, which at least 3 or 4 of us have had a look at, and ask the town board to consider this particular application in regards to the code changes. So I'd like to make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in
Is there any
favor?
discussion?
In further discussion? Greg, you-
No, and that letter will go with that sort of language, and I'll just abstain. So it's a, unanimous or whatever it is, that way,
Okay.
okay,
since it would seem odd if I said, well, I wasn't at the meeting when you talked about it, and I've never seen the letter, so I'll just, I'm out of the.
Well, you can still
out of the-
vote.
look at it, even
Yeah,
look
I
at
could
this.
still vote, but that doesn't hurt anything to
Okay.
abstain.
I mean, yeah, as far as the application goes,
Yeah,
Not
you know,
against.
I mean, the decision about the square footage thing is not
Just for Catherine's sake,
us to make.
It's for the base amount, right? 12,
what is it?
it's for the base.
It's for 12 then.
Okay.
what's she saying?
So they're asking for the Sen 5 and the full amount, which would be 12,000.
Okay.
They're not doing a PSD, so I'm not putting in any.
But do we want to put anything about the well as a contingency?
I believe they checked off no well
Yeah,
relocation.
but we've
You
been
wanna put it
saying,
in?
we've been
They-
saying that.
That has happened before, so let's put in for the well relocation, set aside funds, just in case it turns out that they do.
So plus 4,000.
So I got a second from Tui, and then all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good, thank you. All right. Mitchell, Betty?
Yeah, I'm having trouble. I'm on Zoom, but it's not showing up on my screen for some reason. Anyway, the Mitchell application is a home that is the septic system is 50 years old. It's a blocked cesspool that has failed. It's not mandated a replacement. It's voluntary replacement. It does have only a 40 on the score, but they are not planning on adding any additions on or anything. So my choice is to say that they should get the money for 16,000, and that's with the 4,000 for well set aside. Although they say they're not going to have the well replaced.
Doesn't need to be replaced? That the
Yes,
Suffolk
it's
County
available.
isn't.
They don't think it needed at this point, but we've been saying.
Generally,
All right,
do
so it may be needed,
Many times it happens that, even though they think that it doesn't,
right.
at the end game, it does, so we're just saying, okay, we're just earmarking that money in case, and if it's not used, it's not used. If they don't put a new well in, then they don't get the money.
Right, okay, that's
The
fine.
system is already in and there is not a new well, so I don't know what you want to do as far as that's
So maybe
concerned.
then.
Is this an emergency bill, an emergency repair? A correction?
It doesn't say emergency, no, it just says that the system was
Fail.
failing. Does emergency mean that Suffolk County deems it an emergency, or is it the system has failed and you want to
If-
use your toilet, you need to replace the system?
If the tank starts falling in, if the cesspit starts falling in, if you call up
Well-
Suffolk County Department of Health Service and say, I have this problem here, that, I can see the side of the tank, and Meg could probably expand on this. They send somebody out from Suffolk County and they do a physical evaluation. They're looking, they take the tape measure, they say, okay, put that here and put that there. And I made Meg run away.
You'll have to ask Meg about that. There was nothing on the application that said that was the case.
I thought there was. I thought that they had check marked emergency. So Meg, I think
That's
this was
Smith.
your company, right?
Yeah, the system is considered a failure, but it wasn't done as an emergency because the
Okay.
tank hasn't collapsed yet.
Okay, that's fine then.
So it went through a full permit.
That's correct.
The only thing, looking at the copy of the report, I guess you have to change the dates on it because this was anticipated to be done in December, I think.
I
Your-
believe
your
it's
report
already
to the-
in.
It-
Oh,
The report
my
itself
re-
you're talking
My
about.
report. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, your report to the town board, and that just needs dates changed, that's all.
Okay, so I can send that from here, but you won't be able to sign it, I guess, James, unless Catherine gives it to you and you sign it at a different date.
She signs.
This meeting,
Oh, right.
that's the basic thing is that it says that that was reviewed at this
Yeah.
meeting here on the 10th.
Yeah, well, we thought we were gonna have a meeting, but we didn't have a majority, so this was prepared for that
Right.
that time.
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I motion to approve.
Wait a second.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion on that one? All right, all in
No.
favor?
Nice.
Aye.
All right, aye.
Fantastic. All right, the next one is me, I think, right? Lang. Mary Page Lang, Close, James Lang. They're at 10 Prospect Avenue, which threw me for a little bit because I think I can only think of the one Prospect Avenue, but there's another one over by Rocky Point.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And this is in that spot, and it's in the near shore. And while their use right now, which is, like 400 and something days a year, or people days, I should say, is not that great. They are requesting, and the one thing, they're requesting a bigger system than they need. And then this is I'm not that familiar with the hydro action systems, so I don't know, I don't know what the difference in cost is between what they actually need and what they're asking for. So I've asked them to give me some substantiation of what that is, because they have an estimate of what this is going to cost, but we shouldn't pay for the bigger system.
Right.
And
How many bedrooms?
it's 3, I believe.
Odd thing on the bill that, which you showed paid from Cesspool Pros, the
3
company,
bedrooms.
they have RO 220601 hyphen parentheses 6, bedroom scenario number 2. Don't understand, don't know exactly what it means, but it's
Well, the number of bedrooms that they're putting on their application is 3. I spoke to the woman who is in partnership in the house with her brothers, and they have no plan. And I said, well, you can't, if you're applying for a grant and you get a grant, you cannot do anything in the next 3 years.
Right.
So,
unless she kicks back the excess money, right?
well, yeah, or she pays back whatever the grant is. But they're not. They do plan at some point to do some work. Figure they might as well put the SLI system in. So
But we'll only reimburse.
we're going to reimburse them for whatever the right size of the hydro action system is for the 4 bedroom. It says 3 bedroom, but 4 bedroom is the minimum health department standard. So I would imagine they, like Fuji Clean, have that tiered kind of thing.
They have a 400 and they end
Well,
for,
they're asking for an AN 600 or something.
and it's in the ground, right?
It's already done, you mean?
I don't think so.
Certainly, if they paid they've paid the invoice and they've gotten their state money and the county money.
Well,
Well, they've applied for it. What are you looking at?
I took the time to try and catch up with,
They have, as far as I know, the thing is not in. But
their out-of-pocket costs here that they're reporting, that
you're looking at something different.
oh, yeah, this was Tuesday, December 13. This is, this is the Lang property, I certainly believe. Yes, Lang.
I actually haven't seen
That's
that.
Lang and Michael Lang, right?
No,
And
no, it's a different line.
it says 10,
10 Prospect.
Oh, it does, okay. This is James Lang and Mary Page Lang Close.
James Lang, yeah, and Michael Lang.
Okay,
And then
So-
Mary Page Lang Klaus. And, but this is the invoice from, this is our, the.
Okay, I see. I didn't get when I
You didn't get that? I was looking through the applications that we have here and, you know, I don't know,
Well, they said in their thing that it's failing.
Right.
You know, that it was, and why they're doing it is not working, you know, so and then they reiterated that it's failing. I didn't actually see that was done.
so you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that, no.
This is from the county, this is the summary that the county,
It wasn't in the thing that Catherine sent me.
so this is what the county, their evaluation, their
Okay.
engineering costs,
Yeah, I see.
right?
No,
And then this is their request for, I don't know, did we ever approve an application here? I don't think we ever approved an application. At
Well,
least,
we're getting the application and the request for payment at once?
I believe that's the case.
They sent the whole,
Oh, I just didn't see this part of it.
That's because you were working on the application end of it.
Okay. Well, we have to approve the application first. We're not gonna get the money today. Anyway, so the reality that this house could be and will probably be used more heavily as time goes on, especially because it seems to be in joint ownership. So for that reason, even though it's only like 4.032 milligrams or kilograms a year that we're taking out at the moment, I would recommend that we.
Any house has a future potential of being expanded, sold, and another family moves in and.
Right. Well, I mean, I think these people are going to do it. Right. In any case, I would move that we, or somebody should move for me because I shouldn't do it myself. Yeah, but I'm
Given the circumstances of, getting 50 in the ground is the goal. And, if we were counting pennies, you might say, let's evaluate this a little closer with other applications and things like that. But given the circumstances, I think of where our cash is,
Yes.
knowing that, right now it's used for this amount of time, but bang, all of a sudden,
Well, I mean, the pendulum swings back and forth as we experienced ourselves. And in this case, similar to Betty's application, I think we can take out the contingency for the well.
Right.
Because it's done. Right. Thank you, Greg, for letting me know. So I would then,
it happens when you're retired. You say,
ask for approval of the 12,000 grant.
blowing and rainy out there, and I'll stay inside.
Second,
All right. Any further discussion on this?
I'm good.
You good?
Like, you good with
The
Lang?
one thing you'll notice on the form that they used saying, here's the payment, they didn't indicate, they, at the bottom where they talk about, the two column, the two entry spots where you would put 10,000 paid to the contractor, 10,000 paid to the contractor, they have not.
Put anything in there? When to installer, they said.
And then I think it comes out to be they paid in addition $7,405. It looks like that
Right.
was the outstanding. So I guess, is that the amount?
That we would be paying, but they have to finish this, get all the other documentation that, unless you have it already.
I'm forwarding you the link now to everything that they submitted. They
Okay.
submitted their request for payment at the same time they submitted their application. So it was my understanding that you'd do the application first.
Yeah, no, that's what we're gonna do, and then next month we'll do the other one.
Okay, so we'll not vote on a motion now.
No.
We're gonna vote on the approval of the application,
Yes.
and then we'll make sure that all the other stuff is in line, and we'll look at their request for payment next.
Because the request for payment would have the receipts, which would show whether they indeed used the right contractor that they said they were going on the application or they didn't, right?
Reminder, you guys pushed it up to the town board, so the town board has to approve it.
Then it comes back.
Right.
It can come back to you guys.
So we can't talk about that anyway. So all in favor?
This is the approval for, and since it's in the ground and done and, you know, and the county has paid, that means they've got their stamp. And the amount of money that they're really requesting is the from us, is the $7,000 and change.
So we think.
We think.
Okay.
Is this a digital, who has this digital copy? Because was that in your,
I didn't,
do you have
I
a
didn't even
digital
see
copy?
it.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I
I'll just take a picture.
Just did, I think.
Oh, you did, okay.
Okay. Now, Smith, you didn't have a chance to review, right?
Well, I didn't have a chance to review, however, in reviewing it quickly, it is an emergency. They are requesting a well. It is a fully occupied house. I have not spoken with them because I didn't realize that this was mine till this afternoon.
That's down by me, I'm trying to picture with it.
That's a Dennis Smith, not Dennis Smith, that's Becky Smith.
Becky.
Oh, Becky Hoy?
Yeah.
So,
So
because it's an emergency approval and the county, they've already applied to the county, they've already applied to the state, I don't think that there's a lot of discussion about it.
So the county came, looked at it and said, we have to do this right now.
According to them, that they're saying that, and they've got their engineering all done, and it does require a new well. And they're not doing the shallow pressure drain.
PSD.
Meg, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, so this system did actually collapse right before Christmas. And we did this one as a genuine emergency. And so the grants got expedited, the county signed off on an engineering plan. So that is how this one was done.
So I make a motion, we approve it?
That was quick too.
Anybody second that?
I'll second that.
Right, how much more discussion would we like to have about this?
I don't think that we need any more discussion.
Dollar amount.
Dollar amount is you have a well.
Yes, it will be a well.
And solid base.
Right.
16,000.
Yep,
Yeah.
yes, both.
Okay, let me.
Did run by there and I saw a bunch of dirt and I thought they were just doing something.
Well, they were.
Where's the Rocky Point area of Shelter Island?
Over by Quinnipiac,
Yeah,
by Kissing
Oh,
Rock.
okay.
First Point.
That's what they call it.
Stearns Point runs into, like there's a little jog before it gets out into Rocky Point Road and.
Okay,
All right.
sorry, didn't know where it was.
I actually was scratching my head for a little bit too, because I was like, why do they need it on Prospect Avenue? In any case, everybody in favor?
Yes.
All right. So Lori Beard Raymond has applied for a rebate extension request because of problems with the health department and getting all the stamps and everything, even though I think the thing is in. Is that correct, Lori?
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, the septic system was installed. I can give you a timeline on the whole project if you want. The grant we applied for in February of 2020. But with COVID and the county running money that had to be refunded and a number of different scenarios, we didn't get our grant finalized until May 23rd of 2023. So it took us a little over three years to get our grant approval from the state and the county, because we're not in a near shore overlay district and we are not, we were not in an emergency situation. The grant was finalized on May 23rd, 2023. The engineer finalized the design drawings on August 23, 2023. I received the health department approval to construct on August 31st, 2023. That came through the engineer. It was installed on 11/13/2023. So it's been in the ground for approximately 6 weeks. The maintenance agreement we sent back to Shelter Island Sand and Gravel on 11/27/23. And now we're waiting for invoices to come in from the various people that had done work. We're waiting for the county paperwork, which had to be amended as well. We were unable to, we tried to plant grass, but unfortunately we missed the window and not really much is happening because it just got too cold. So, and we're having some grading and erosion problems because we didn't get the grass in time. So there's a little bit more work to be done. But it's just taken time. Unfortunately, between between August and November, I mean, that was really the quickest we could get it in and get everybody lined up.
I mean, it sounds like you actually moved pretty fast. So-
Yeah.
Once you got the approval.
We got the approvals, yes, exactly. So, we just need to get all the paperwork, the I's crossed, or T's crossed and I's dotted, so to speak.
I think,
Fine with me. Yeah.
Yep.
It's been going
I
on
think
a
we have to
long
vote.
time, Lori.
Patience, what do they say? Patience is a virtue.
How much does she, you're asking for 6 months, or do you want to?
it's a year, I think.
It's a year.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, Greg,
Yeah,
I
that's what it just is, it's an extension.
expect
okay.
this to take this long ever, but it has. I hope it's not gonna take me another year.
Water's taking longer, actually. Okay.
Right.
But we probably can't plant grass and finalize some of that stuff until the spring, until the weather gets a little better, obviously.
I'm just thinking that if you keep it as an extension it's an extension for 6 months or 8 months, whatever.
I think it says on the.
That keeps it on the calendar,
Yeah.
and so that you don't wind up somebody saying, oh yeah, I forgot to ask, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, well,
Right,
for me,
so-
the biggest unknown is how long it's gonna take the county to send the paperwork back to me and get my green stamp. So, and I just.
That could be a long time.
I don't know how long it's gonna take them. Obviously, I wanna close it out and submit my invoices because everybody's gonna wanna be paid and I'm gonna wanna be reimbursed for what I've already paid. So,
You want to say 8 months, 9 months?
Well, I'm trying.
Doesn't it say on the thing?
It's a year.
It's a year.
It's a year.
It's a
Oh,
year.
it
It
says
doesn't
on it.
matter. Yeah.
So
Okay,
just say an extension. Extension is,
I think we should set a time so that it doesn't get lost off the table.
I know what James is talking about. I just don't know where I saw it.
Every confidence that
It's
we
written-
will not allow it to be.
Right there.
Fall off the edge.
Request for, 1-year extension. So,
Yeah, that's what it says.
so she gets a year automatically, so
Okay,
it'll be
that's
on the
fine then.
I
calendar.
mean,
Okay.
we'll entrust
She wants
Catherine
to,
or her successor to keep us,
Not that she may
Okay, so that's
need the whole
fine then,
thing.
1 year, if it needed to, if that motion needed to be called.
I don't think it is. I think it's just I don't think we need to,
Okay,
do we need to approve this? I don't think so. I mean, I think you've done what all our regulations say, you've extended the whole thing because of the delays that are, not your fault. So we can vote on it if you like.
I'm fine with it. I'm in favor.
All right,
yes,
Yeah,
we're all in
yeah.
favor.
I
Whether or not we need a
So
vote.
was Betty, so.
all right.
thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you, Laurie. Sorry about last month.
No problem. Thank you.
Well,
Okay. On to the requests for payment. Class 29B Osprey Road. That is that barn, right?
Frank's, who did that application? Frank's.
I couldn't find
man.
Frank's in even 2022
Be an older one?
on the website.
I didn't have.
I couldn't.
I had it, I don't remember.
Frank's was approved in 2020, in November of 2020.
It's a long time.
I don't think that the documents are, I don't think, and maybe Catherine, do you know, are the documents on the website?
On SharePoint, yeah.
They're on SharePoint, okay.
Stephanie Franks, okay. Thanks, okay. Chairman, they got the 2 grants, so she's asking for,
$7,456.
yeah, this is, I'm not sure if it's the barn or the other house over there. It's like on a dirt road back off of Osprey. But there's not many things to talk about here. It's Jim Williams, a very reasonable amount for plumbing. There's no electric. And Charles Rollins and Garrell, and then Matt Sherman. And the amount requested is $74.56.
You have the breakdown. The breakdown looks good.
Breakdown is very simple. It's only 3 things.
Okay.
And then they got 20,000 from the state and the county.
27 sounds like a pretty reasonable
Yeah.
cost for a unit.
I make a motion, we approve the rebate.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Dollar amount is $74.56. Rossow, Greenberg, Smith. They are asking for $13,928.
They're asking for 13,928, yeah,
I
but
mean, that's what they're out of pocket. They're not, they
Right.
applied when it was 6,000, I think. So they would get, if we
12.
approve that, it would be 12.
right, correct.
So great. So the, again, Sherman Engineering, $3,000. Shoulder on Sand and Gravel, it's 2870. It's 28,078. There was a test hole, a boring, for 550. And then a mark out, I guess, for electric and whatever, for $275. And then Eric Krause's plumbing for $2,025. So the total was $33,928. And they got the 2 grants from the state and the county. So that leaves them with a balance of $13,928.
No well.
It was no well, no.
I approve 12,000.
Make a
To
motion.
make the motion?
I make a motion to approve the basic grant of 12,000.
Okay, second.
Second.
Any discussion about that?
Fine with it.
I think it's, again, it's pretty straightforward.
You just read in terms of what the costs were. Yes, absolutely.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mom, can you check that? Mom,
Okay. So we have, next is Montalvo at 4 Sunshine. Their ask is for like 95.28. Let me see if I can find that. Again, a very straightforward thing. The engineering was a little higher. It was 48.40. Shelter on sand and gravel was 29,688.44. So the total that they have is 34,528.44. They got a grant from the state for 10,000 and from the Suffolk County for 15,000. So they are out of pocket 95.28.44. And again, I think Montalvo was a $6,000 grant. So,
15,000.
pardon me, was they 15,000?
15,000, they were back in 2019.
Okay, well, then I see no problem in the way this is asked. The ask is very reasonable. So it would be 95.28.44.
Make a motion, we approve it.
And I'll second that.
If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Then not on the agenda was Sash. They're over on Montclair Avenue, I believe.
I don't remember.
Sash?
We had Sash, yeah, didn't
Yeah, we've visited this before, I think.
Is it on the agenda?
we?
It's
No,
not,
it was
it's
not on
not
the
on-
agenda. I don't think we had approved it. I don't think we had, or was waiting for something. What does it say? I know the system is, easier to look than mine. Let's see if I can find it here.
Like they were approved for a rebate of 8,000 back in 2021. Sash.
Right.
And then we upgraded it to 16,000 when we allowed anyone to get up to the new threshold of 12,000 plus 4.
So we've already approved their,
You've approved their rebate, so yes, that was done back on, you approved it August 4th, 2022, town board approved it September 27th,
so then
2022.
I'm wrong. Okay.
And then in December, we upgraded whoever was outstanding from 6,000 to, I mean, 8,000 to
Well,
16.
then,
They're just asking for the additional approval, right?
No, we did that via resolution.
Okay.
Catherine gave me a list of everybody.
But have you approved their request for payment?
No, that hasn't been approved.
Maybe that's what you mean, right?
okay, we haven't approved that.
Not the payment.
Okay, all right, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, where is that worksheet?
I didn't see the worksheet in the,
I mean, it's here somewhere. Uh, hmm. Oh, man.
There is a letter saying that,
I found it. Yeah, the one thing I had a problem with it was, now that I begin to recall, about the fence.
What is the address for Sage?
It's Montclair Avenue.
there is a letter from Dorothy saying that we recommended the $8,000 be approved. Do you see that letter? It was sent on, September 28th.
This year?
No, September 28th of 2022. Be it resolved that the town board hereby adopt the findings of the WQIAB and approve the application for a recommended rebate of up to $8,000 in eligible cost upon completion of the project and subject to the applicant's compliance with and completion of all terms and conditions of the
Right.
conditional rebate agreement.
That's the
That's
application.
the application. We know, we agree with that. So,
Okay.
I just, it didn't get on the agenda and as a request for payment. I mean, it was in the emails and I remember seeing it and I had written something down about it. And I just had a question about something that was billed. And it had to do with the fence. It was like $2,510 for a fence.
Which we shouldn't approve.
Well, that's my thought. Next gen construction. They had some tree work, but I can see that trees were in the way. But, a fence is, something that generally I wouldn't think that we would get involved with. Like, I know with Kim Riley, for instance, we did, there was some stuff that she did on her driveway that we.
Do we allow it if they had to take away the fence to get the system in? Oh. Trying to remember, is that on our bill? No, right?
We have,
It's just like, it's usually natural, like
stuff,
landscape.
I mean, like if there's a tree in the way or something like that.
Right, can I just shorten the discussion?
Yes, sure.
Because the expenses subject to town rebate are $18,616. And so they're not putting in for a new well upgrade, so they're only eligible for $12,000.
Right.
So if you just get rid of DC Tree and Next Gen Construction, you still are at $12,000 for them.
Okay.
So you don't need to discuss the other, they don't even get to that.
I'm not gonna get it anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Good, thank you.
So
Sorry.
that's why she's a supervisor.
But you know the numbers.
Spreadsheets.
Okay, well, so then I would ask for an motion to approve 12,000.
Right.
Just wonder, you want me to second?
Sure, Jeff.
Well, but I would like to talk just a little bit more, but
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
You'll have that.
So you're seeing their documentation there.
I'm seeing that.
Right, and everything looks okay, other than the trees, and so you're saying that
No,
the
the
motion would be
fence.
is that we're not gonna pay for the trees, however, they're gonna get their
Well, not for the fence, but
fence, okay.
Amber makes the point, she cut to the chase, like, they're not gonna get the fence anyway, because it's,
It's like a moot point.
Okay, Yes, that's fine. And, you know, whatever we, as long as that's documented, I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
That's why I said. Motion.
I couldn't see the forest for the trees here.
Yeah.
Fence for the forest,
Defense for the, yeah.
whichever. So was that seconded? Second.
Yeah, Greg did it.
Greg.
Greg, did you second? You seconded it.
Moved.
yeah.
First, I
I'll,
did.
I'll second,
Anyway,
I'll
first
second.
Whatever. Let's not
Denny's
get
gonna
caught up in
Then he
this.
seconded.
All
Are we
in
in
favor?
favor?
All in favor? All right.
Tony and Tony,
Aye.
these
All right.
first and second things.
We got that. So then there was something else not on the agenda. The Derbies came up, they either forgot or something when they applied for their rebate payment. They didn't add in the Sherman Engineering cost.
They just realized it after the fact.
I'm not sure exactly how.
It was during that period of time when we were changing from the old threshold to the new threshold.
Okay,
So it
They
was-
just didn't put it in there because it-
Because they didn't think it was going to get reimbursed, and they realized that it was in fact eligible.
we actually talked about
Yeah.
having that scenario happen.
You want to eat, just eat.
But it was right, like all happening simultaneously.
Right.
We actually discussed that when we
If it happened.
how are we gonna handle that? And that, well, I think what we said is.
I guess now we have the chance to handle it. So they were paid what, or approved for what?
They were approved. Hold on. They were originally approved for 6,000, it got increased to 12,000.
But they only had expenses less than 12,000,
They showed expenses of, yes, less than 12,000.
right? So they got whatever that was.
Yes, let me hold on a second.
Actually,
I got it here. They got paid for. Kelly printed everything for me.
here it is. I found it. They got paid 7601.
Yeah.
Now they're asking for an additional 3.
25, I think it's 2,500 for Sherman Engineering. So it's still under 12.
It's under, yeah.
Right. So do we need to
Seems
vote on this?
appropriate.
I think we need to approve, I think we,
Make a motion, we approve.
that we add, that we fix the oversight.
Yes,
Yes.
second.
All right, all in favor?
I,
So, all right, so that 2,500 will go. All right, great. Okay, so we already talked about the recommendations of the town board. We don't need to talk about that anymore.
Amber?
Peconic Estuary Partnership dues. That's the usual
Yes.
thing for the regular seating, or is it?
It's
Or
part
the-
of the, under enabling legislation, that one of the things that WQI funds can be used for
Mhm.
is for PEP dues.
Right,
And so at the end of 2023, we paid PEP 11,900. So we waited till the end of the year because they didn't issue us an invoice, and then suddenly it was like, hey, we need to get paid. So we just scheduled the public hearing because it's not part of the regular rebate program. So we scheduled the public hearing, no one had anything, and we paid them. So this year, we're waiting for them to send us an invoice for 2024.
okay,
So, but that's, the next time
but it will come,
Rush will be like,
right,
hey, you guys, this is coming down the pike, you approve it, then we set the public hearing, then we pay it up.
okay,
that sounds fine. You know, that, it is in our bailiwick and
Exactly.
supporting the PEP.
And on the financials that I'm handing out to you, you'll see that we paid it for the past year
Right.
prior.
Is there any duplication with the Cornell cooperative with this program, the
This is,
Peconic?
It's for dues, so it's more, it covers more administrative costs rather than program specific.
It's not a project itself, it's just,
Correct.
yeah.
And our dues compared to the other towns.
And we want them to like us. We want them to like us because they got a lot of money and it would be good for them to be interested in doing stuff on Shelter Island.
Yes. And they've been working with us.
Right. So I guess you'll let us know when it is.
Yes, when we get it.
Is it gonna be the same this year, or?
No, it goes up every year. It was in 2021, it was $5,950. 2022 was $8,925, and then 2023 was $11,900. And they have some formula that they do.
It's going up by 3 a year?
Want to take that lead into the financial stuff?
Yes. The share screen. I'm just going to, you've got here since the inception of the program, 2017 through 2023, but I'm just going to go down the 2023 column. That is not showing on the screen.
It's on the, yeah, it's on,
It's
it's
just, yeah, it is.
All right, I'll cover up 2017. Just ignore that little average on the side here. Okay, so what I show here is funds available from CPF revenues. So under the 2023 column, you got $572,965.26. That is actually all of the, that's what we received in 2022 that gets attributed to 2023. My spreadsheet has always been lagging because the way the underlying legislation was written is that you see what your dues are last year and that's money available in 2020. So 2022 money is available in 2023. I don't know why it's written that way. Even when the auditors do their financial report, they add in the current year monies. But I've just kept the spreadsheet the same. We have a number for through October for 2023. So when I start to put in 2024's column, we, so far through October, the WQI share will be $470,355. So cumulatively, you can see I've accounted for $3,549,447, but if you go down column 2023, we've actually received $4,019,802 through October 2023. So it's just a timing difference. I think I'm gonna go back and maybe adjust the spreadsheet somehow, just to better reflect it more real time with the monies coming in, because no one seems to be doing the lag except for me. Then I show the funds that were carried over from the prior year, so 2 million, just about 40,000, 2,040,000. So we started off 2023 with $2.6 million available for funds. During 2023, we encumbered 9 new rebates, plus the little bump up for some people who had the 6,000 to 12,000. So we encumbered 154,000. The programs that we funded was shellfish seeding for 12,000, the funds for fresh pond 154,505, the Cornell Cooperative Extension 200,000, and then the WAC request for the central water testing $14,863. What we have paid out, well, I then show funds released. Funds released are if someone, like we paid Cornell Cooperative something, so that got, that portion got released. We paid the WAC central water testing, so those funds get released. And then if someone had a $15,000 rebate, we only paid out $9,000. Down below, I show the actual payment of the 9,000, but I do release that extra $6,000 of grant rebate because they're not going to use it. So we released
Right.
$121,000. So reserve for projects in 2023, less the released funds, $414,000. Then you can see for septic grants, we actually expended $46,757. Administration costs, that's clerk salaries, payroll taxes, what else do I have in there?
The PEP dues.
Oh,
No,
it's
the
another-
PEP dues aren't administrative. Payroll MTA, oh, the audit, that was the other one. So administrative costs were $29,276. The PEP dues, we paid the $11,900. And then other grants was a combination of a payment towards Cornell Cooperative Extension, a progress payment of $52,593. And then the WAC, $14,800 some odd dollars for that program. So that ends up leaving us with, of the $2.6 million at the beginning of the year, we have available $2,043,648. You can see the prior year, funds available were $2,039,994. So we actually, it was a good year. We kind of expended what we received at least last year, or converted it. So funds to be carried over for the future projects is at $2,043,000. Plus, then we'll also have the new money coming in at $470. So we'll have like $2.5 million. Set aside for specific projects at that point in time is $771,772. And then total cash unspent is the $2.8 million.
In there somewhere, is it like 13,000 or something to Cornell for the seating? Didn't we pay that?
That's in there.
Is that in there?
Well, Cornell was the 200,000. So
Yeah.
actually.
No, 12,000 for seating.
Right?
right?
Yeah, 12,000. That hasn't been paid out yet.
Oh, okay.
So that's still part of the appropriations. And still also part of the unencumbered funds was the funds for the Wade's Beach septic system.
Right, which is like forever.
Back in 2018. I think we're gonna talk to Kenny to see whether or not.
Gonna unencumber it.
Is that ever going to happen? And if not, then.
Or the anticipated amounts coming in from CPF, is that cumulative receipts?
Through October, right?
It's through October.
Yeah.
For October, okay.
I think this is going to be close to what was received last year.
Last year, yeah, looks like.
Yeah, so we have November and December.
Right, which we won't get till February.
Right, yeah, last year, we got the numbers in January, we got December.
But it's roughly the same.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell.
Well,
I think the
yes.
470 that we got through October, I think included, like a big, in September, there was a huge sale.
Yeah.
And so that popped us up a bit. We weren't anticipating it to be the same.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I have no questions.
Thank you.
Since we hadn't had a meeting in December, I sort of like forgot about it. I finished it 5 minutes before the meeting when I realized I was on the agenda. So I'll distribute it earlier next time.
You all say that every week. I'll do it faster the next month.
Yeah.
All right, so discussion about the water test results from the center. You had talked about. Some dialogue about that.
I had meant this to send to Catherine, and I did, apparently it's sitting in this end. What I took was, we received the initial report from Joe, and he had them all listed in a column. So what I tried to do, and I'll send this to you now, it's
Okay.
Basically, I break out by the different zones that we had. And I've broken out and identified basically 4 categories, either when they're below 5 milligrams per liter, or if they're between 5.
The average of all the tests in that
The
zone.
individuals. This is the individual tests.
This
Okay.
is real, yeah.
All right, so for example, what I have here for zone 2, we had 19 wells that were tested. 2 of them were above 10 milligrams, so they're above potable. 7 of them were in that 5 to 10
Or okay.
level, which are okay, but you know, they're starting to
They're
get
marginal.
And then I had another category where it was, the count was 7.5 to 10. So those are that first category of where it is above 10, and the 7 to 10 are.
Zone 2 had a really high one, right? Like a
Yeah.
21 or something like that.
It's really a shame that I didn't send this, because you'd be able to see it better.
I looked at the other one.
I can scan that quickly. I can-
You know, it's not, I'm running out of ink, and so even this is not worth seeing.
I think.
And then, you know, and I'll send these to you, and there'd be no reason, because there's no ink on these. But I did a histogram of all the ones, I did of 6 wells, 8 wells, or 8 zones, I should say, and identified which ones had this real serious problem. And I don't know whether or not it helps us understand what's going on, but it's an attempt. I tried to see that, and I apologize for not being able for not being.
I mean, the trend shows is that there is some, you know, it's not like the smoking gun that we might have all thought, you know, over 10 everywhere, and, you know, but there definitely is cause for concern and for remediation.
So the one zone that popped out was the zone closest to the dump to me. I don't remember what number that was. I looked at the map.
Is that the one that was the highest?
Yeah, that's what, at least by my quick observation.
Well, no, the one, zone 2 had the one that was 20 something.
Well, there was
That's
like
not
38, and you know, there was a couple of the municipal wells, which it's a shame in hindsight. We should have done all of the town wells at the same time, using, you know, in the same time frame, so that we could have been able.
And I had the same
So
exact.
Joe is now assembling the town wells.
Mhm.
I didn't call him today. I didn't have time I didn't take that. I'm going to check with him. If I can come over and, you know, if he's, because he's a pretty busy guy. If I can come over and just say, okay, tell me where they are, I'll pull the numbers out and try and get a histogram like this of the different municipal wells with the history of what the trends might be in the different wells. At this point, I'd say, you know, this, you know, that's what the chart looks like, real quick.
There you go, Greg.
Again, it shows the count of wells in each zone. I did not do histograms where if I had 3 wells or 3 zones, I didn't worry about doing that. The average in the zone, the median in the zone, the count above 10 milligrams, the count 5 to 10, the count 7.5 to 10, and then the count below 3 of 5, which gives you, these are the ones that you'd say, hey, they're pretty much safer. They're here, the ones less than 5, they're with no color coding
Right.
of the numbers. This yellow coding is, well, actually, it's really the 5 to 10 millimeters, because this chart, the histograms are interesting, but you can't line them up where you're measuring 7.5, at least at my level of skill. And then the issues are where you have the low problems. These are the ones that were above 10. So I'll send this to you, you know, and you know, you'll have time to take a look at your leisure. It's like, you know, if you're awake, you say, oh my God, I can't sleep. Look at that.
And you go right in.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can curl up with that.
Just try and make sure you're in bed before you look at it. That's all I can say. And
So where these significantly elevated numbers are we doing something?
I did not get to the point of saying, okay, looking at these numbers, looking at spreadsheets like this, the histogram, there's plenty of questions. I mean, there are some in the histograms, there are some that it's just, that there's, why is that zone? Why is the 0 to 6? Why is it everybody, there's 3 or 5 at each well, or each zone, which, why should it be spread out like that? I don't know. This is trying to take the data, putting it into a format that you can say, okay, now maybe I can see a little bit clearer.
No, I get that, but so you have one that's 20.
I haven't gone on, you know what, I know there's a zone 8, but I didn't look on the map today of what zone 8, where that
Right.
is. So I can't tell you, unfortunately.
Um,
Well, yeah, one,
Question is,
Actually-
what is going to be done?
yeah, yes, so not what is Greg gonna do?
Yeah, no.
What are either this committee or the town?
And the WAC, I mean,
Okay, yes.
Zone 8 is by the
is to get this thing
Historical
cleaned up.
Society.
Oh.
Really?
My intention is to get
Well, it
this
was that-
cleaned up with the
Yeah.
histograms.
That was the old highway barn.
WAC, and say, okay, I forget.
But does somebody go knock on, granted, we don't know who these people are, but does,
I mean, there should be something put out that anybody in the colored spots should be drinking bottled water. Right?
The problem is.
This is a question for the
that-
town, maybe Amber can answer this really, but what's the
Yeah.
long-term
I was
plan
gonna
on
say,
this?
right now, Joe Fenora has presented this to the WAC currently. It actually hasn't been formally presented to the town board.
okay,
So that's going to happen, I don't know exactly when, but the next, time frame. So Joe is still analyzing it, and so he's going to come up working with the WAC about like, what do we need to do? James said it wasn't the smoking gun that we thought it was going to be,
But
but
there's
there is
still-
areas of concern. So he's working on that, and we'll come to the town board, and then based upon that, and working with WAC, come up with like, this is what we think we should do.
right.
And he does have some thoughts.
Do you foresee enlisting our help with funding and?
Yes,
certain-
yes, so it would come to WQI, once it's decided we would like to take this path forward, then likely
Right.
we'll get a presentation by Joe, request funds.
Yeah, get this into a usable format of where, okay, I can see what's going on, and then it's saying, okay, do we go to zone 6 and say, folks.
evacuate.
Here's what we came in zone 6 is that, we had four of the 14 were below 5. 6 were between 5 and 10, I guess. And 6 were between 5 and 10. And this is actually dark blue, I think. This is the, above 7.5 to.
It's interesting, 8 and 9 was where the old highway building was.
Yeah, that's usually.
And 2 is where the Salt Air Nursery was, or Shelter Island Nursery. Sort of.
And what about 10 and 11?
10 and 11.
Not 10, but 11.
11 is in that same old,
The highway barn, kind of.
sort of near there. I mean, Shul Road.
Across from Seymour.
Yeah, it's not on an old highway barn.
That's interesting because there is that huge piece of preserved land there.
Yeah, that's
There's no,
the old nursery. It says old nursery.
no, yes, right, there's, yeah.
I think, yes, you want to do something, but I think you want to make sure that
Don't.
that what you do is backed up by the test data that we have.
No,
And a reasonable understanding of, you know, what are the conclusions?
so theoretically, the person that, let's just say the red ones, or the, you know, the, whatever. They've all got, everybody's gotten their data, but do they now know that they should,
Well, they know individually because they've gotten it, they know that they're well,
Greg sent it to them, we don't
because, yeah,
know.
GNS or Goldman sent it to them.
So
And that would be highlighted
that
on the
would be
report.
up for them to now come and say, ooh, help.
It's just as if you got your water tested and you got your.
Yeah,
And then you decide what you're gonna do as an individual.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So presumably they all know what, you know, that
Right.
their situation. And I think that once this is put, once Joe finishes, what, you know, once WAC looks at it and you guys take a look at it and come away and say, okay, now something's got to go, either a presentation to the town board,
Right.
you know, it shows up in the reporter saying, here are the areas that we really would like to see people do their own testing maybe, or.
You know, and nobody, to my knowledge, has, really responded in any kind of way about, or overture about IA systems.
Or filtering systems.
Or, well, we were talking, trying to get an IA in the ground
Yeah, no.
using these same well people.
Yeah.
But nobody really has stepped up,
Because our
Asked
cards
about
went in them.
Right.
Those, yeah.
so they all knew about it.
But it seems interesting to me that you people are saying that these are areas where, the old nursery or whatever, did they put something in the ground? It might not necessarily be their septic system that's causing this problem. So there has to be some
Possible.
kind of investigation.
That's true, but, and this is anecdotal, like.
I mean, I'm just saying, oh, well, that's that, and it may have nothing to do with it.
But it's very, there's that, again, it's a concentrated area. Well, it's concentrated,
This is like.
there's a lot of preserved land over there, right? And the farm, that nursery's been vacant for a number of years. And it wasn't that big.
I mean, it was, there for a while.
Fertilizer.
It was fertilizer.
I'm
I mean,
gonna, just gonna jump in and say, it may be that those are more densely populated areas, not necessarily like, because I mean, let's be real, that nursery hasn't been active in a long time.
Right.
And that
Right.
surface nitrogen would have dissipated. So I'm gonna say it probably has more to do with the density of the development on the Ginny Drive, Mark Street, Linda Court area than it does with the nursery in the middle of the preserve. And with the other area down by the Heights, it's actually more the whole Peppermill, Shelterlands, like that zone and the Baldwin area that, you want to look at. Once again, more densely populated area.
So, I'll.
Need greater minds than us to look
I'll
at
send
it.
it out, so you can see it on your screen and, then certainly it's planned to be part of the conversation at the WAC meeting,
Okay.
which I think is next Monday. And I guess you guys can certainly dial in, whatever it may be, because I suspect we'll be on Zoom. And, it's a good time for the WAC and the WQI to think about, okay, here,
How can we help?
collectively, let's take a look at this and understand what we ought to be doing.
Yeah. Old business of any sort?
Everything feels old.
The next WAC meeting is January 22nd.
22nd, okay, so 2
Because of
weeks.
the holiday.
Okay. Oh, that's. Yeah.
Well, sort of playing into this, in new business is, I had that dialogue with Chris Gobler, who reached out to me and Catherine about, just what the deal is with, how do we go about doing what we do and what do we do? And I tried to give him an overview, which I think I sent to you guys.
Yep.
And so I'd love to get him in this room here. I tried to enlist him for Fresh Pond, but he was sort of like, I guess he's a pretty busy guy. But I'd love to have him, maybe he has some thoughts about projects that should get done. Who knows, but he's a super world-class, knowledgeable person. And he's done a lot of work on Shelter Island as far as, the tidal wetlands, I think when he was doing his doctorate and stuff.
His, in the write-up, I guess it was, it talked about what he was doing. It starts with an A. It's a lake on the South Fork, Agawam.
Agawam, yeah.
Where he's using
Same harbor.
hydrogen peroxide and a device to disrupt the cells of the I'm curious, is this an established procedure or is this like an experimental procedure that he's trying? Because dumping peroxide into the lake, into the pond, okay, that, maybe fish don't like it. It wouldn't surprise me anyway. But this sounding device that they use, which it sounded like it was like Dune, for God's sake, it's like you put this thing in the water and you watch the bacteria or you watch the algae pop and sink. And is that a viable for the fresh pond? And what are the drawbacks? Is that an experimental thing or is that real? Is that
I think depth is probably, just if I were going to pull out something, I think depth of those two ponds are big difference.
Yeah. That having him comment on that,
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have him come here and just, talk to us, so we'll say.
You think he'll do it?
I don't know. And he's the one who reached out to us, so.
Right.
So did you send him, our procedures?
Yeah, I referred him to, the website, and, I gave him an overview of what we do and how things are not cookie cutter. I mean, the IAs are all set, but, the other ones are pretty much one-off endeavors. When people come to us, our purview is not necessarily to do projects on our own, but we do try to suggest things to people that they might want to come to us for. And that's, part of our deal. But I just gave them an overview of other things that we've done and how we would go about vetting them. It's not cut in stone. I don't, everyone's a little bit different.
Is it overcooked?
Uh-oh.
Lori has her hand up.
Laurie.
Hi, I just have a question, because I've not been to some of your meetings in a while, but in your discussion on number 6 from the agenda today about criteria for expansions, I just wanted to make sure that you all knew that the Suffolk County Sanitary Code Article 6 was revised and updated in the summer of 2021. And that basically means is the trigger for what the county requires for upgrading to an IA system for expansions and constructions and renovations, that trigger changed that summer. So I don't know if that applies to your discussion on number 6 or not, but I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. So county even
We'll take a look at it.
Yeah, the county's even gone as far as defining what they consider a major construction. There's a whole verbiage of language there.
That would be great. And what is that? It was Suffolk County?
Suffolk
Where do
County
we find-
Code was revised in the summer of
Sanitary
2021.
code. Sanitary code, Greg.
Do you know?
You had a couple, you said article.
It's Article 6 of the sanitary
Article
code.
6.
But if you look at the Suffolk County website, the wastewater management office has some guidance memos. They issued a guidance memo on August 9th of 2021, which is guidance memo number 39. It's written by Craig Nepper he's the
Oh,
chief
yeah.
on wastewater management. So anyway, just take a look at that because I don't know if it has any effect on your discussion, but the county has set limits which changes that trigger of when people need to upgrade to an IA system when they're doing an expansion or a renovation. And I'm sure that Craig, if you had questions on it, would be happy to talk to you or meet with you if you needed further clarification. Just
Okay,
make sure.
thank you.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure that you knew about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other thoughts that anybody has? How about a motion then?
So moved?
Second, I'm sure. I think we're all in favor.
Yes.
Thank you all.